What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking down stages 3 and 4 of the new Union Master event here. So stages 3 and 4 are focused around the Hybrid Saiyans category. So for stage 3 we have to have at least 3 Hybrid Saiyans, and then for stage 4 we're going to have at least 5 Hybrid Saiyans category characters. I am going to kind of do the same thing that I did on the last phases and just do like full Hybrid Saiyan teams. So this is a full 6-unit Hybrid Saiyan team that I have. I do not have the new Gohan, Goten, and Trunks card to be able to use as my active leader. So unfortunately, this is the best I can get with the full Hybrid Saiyans build. So what we're actually going to do is 2 different team builds. So for the only 3 Hybrid Saiyans needed, I figure because it's the easier of the 2 stages, I will just go ahead and use a full Hybrid Saiyans build, show you guys what that looks like, show you how you might be able to operate under a sub Hybrid Saiyan lead so that you can use this guy as your friend lead if that is your setup. And then when we go into the at least 5 units required for the stage 4, I actually have a special surprise. We've got a different team build that we're going to be trying out, see if we can make that work. So let's go ahead and jump in. So this is going to be a Super Battle Road style fight. Looks like we're going to be facing off against an Android 17 and 18 side by side, and then fight 2 will just be against Full Power Bojack, and then the final fight will be a 2-phase fight against Super Saiyan Broly and then Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. So exactly the same as stages 1 and 2, where we had Dragon Ball Super Broly and then the Full Power Super Broly at the end, right? Okay, so right off the bat, let's go ahead and put Beast Gohan in the first slot. That's probably wise. Oh, I love that battle motion so freaking much. I'm pretty sure it's my favorite one in the entire game. Okay, we'll do this. We'll primarily focus down 17. There's really no difference between these two, I guess, other than the fact that Android 17 hits a little bit harder. Yeah, it looks like Android 18 is a little more defensive, and Android 17 hits harder. His stats are a little bit higher, and he has a higher chance to super attack. So yeah, we can get rid of him, even though I assume neither of these bosses are going to be threatening at all. They have 600k and 700k attack, respectively, and then 1500 super and 1.75 super. So yeah, we should be okay there. Definitely not going to struggle too much against this first phase. They do each have 100 million HP, so obviously it's not going to be like 100% free for us to just melt through their HP pools, but I can't imagine we're going to struggle too much here. The real challenge comes on Phase 4, right? Phase 3 is just kind of a way to test out the stage, and then Phase 4 is where it really ramps up because the boss stats go up just by a little bit, making them that much more threatening, and then also they usually add special effects, so we'll have to see what that looks like when we get there. I do have the wiki page pulled up on the side, so I'm able to give you all of this information, but yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at the Phase 4 abilities and stuff once we get through this Phase 3 fight, right? So I guess another thing to note about the usual power of all of these characters is the fact that we're on a lower leader skill, because we do have the 200% lead on one side, but then we have only a 170 lead as our main leader, just because of the unit that I'm lacking, right? So that is going to hurt all of our attack stats and stuff just by a couple million for the entire fight, which is going to make a difference over time, right? It's going to be an extra couple turns that we're in fight, which is part of the reason why I brought the leader that I did, because at least he has the ability to stack, right? Which obviously isn't like super amazing or important for for content where we're going to be resetting in between each fight because we go back onto the field, onto the map, which is going to reset all of our stats in battle. But at least for that final fight, it's going to be 2 phases, so he'll get a couple of turns of stacking in. Should help him out a little bit. At least hopefully be able to tank the normals, which are going to be doing upwards of 1 million damage at that point, right? Okay, so we should be pretty solid as far as, like, we've got enough slot 1 units to keep us holding strong throughout this fight. Okay, awesome. Gotank's taking one there. Yeah, I can't imagine that we're going to struggle too hard here. This team is pretty good. We do have some pretty high-level premium units. As you can see, this brand new Super Easy A dishing out a 50 million attack stat just now. Kind of easily just flattened the Android 18 there. Oh, actually didn't even KO her. She still has a little bit of HP left. Wow, I didn't realize. Okay, well, maybe between the onslaught of attacks coming from Gohan here, we can finish her off. Let's see. Yep, there we go. She is done for. So now it's just going to be a little bit of damage left on Android 17, and then we'll be moving on to the next phase. So yeah, that should not be a problem. And I think this is probably the heavier damaging of the two phases. Or of our two rotations that we have, I mean. So probably wouldn't be the worst thing to have this be our first rotation on the next fight, right? Okay, let's see. So we do have access to these active skills. We should use them. Because, again, the fight is going to reset and we're going to get them back. So we don't need to hold them for Broly because we're going to be able to use them again a little bit later. So there we go. Might as well just get some free damage in, move on to the next fight. Call it a day. I suppose one thing we could have done there was select same type orbs in slot 1 before we use that attack. That way we could have gotten a little bit of free healing before the end of that fight. That is a cheeky strat we could have used, but I don't think it's going to ultimately affect us too much. We will just keep that in mind, though. If we happen to barely lose by our HP depleting, then we'll just keep that in mind, that we technically had a way to heal and just didn't take advantage of it. Okay, I'm hoping if I select these orbs that those blue ones will be available for me to grab. Oh, yeah, it's going to default to the yellow because there's more of them. Okay, that's fine. At least we're able to get an 18-key super with them. That's not the worst thing. Would have been nice to save those for Gohan, but I didn't want to keep him on rotation, so this is going to have to work. Yeah, sure, that'll be the best. Okay. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, my goodness. Wait a second. Wait a second. Why did we just get hit so hard right there? That Bojack had 700k defense, or a 700k attack stat with 1.96 million super attack. Why did we just get hit so hard right there? Is there... Hold on. Did we make a huge blunder on this team? Do we have a, what is it, a final trump card ally? We need a final trump card ally on the team. Do we have one? Hold on. Go by Hybrid Saiyans and Final Trump card and look at what matches up. Oh, no. Okay, so right out the gates, we know that this team build is not going to work. Because we would need one of these other units on the team for this to happen. To be able to successfully use Go tanks as a slot 1, we need one of these units here. So, I mean, it's either going to be the transforming Go tanks or this other Super Saiyan 3 Go tanks, right? Is this guy good enough? He doesn't really get... He doesn't have a good super attack effect. He does have the high chance to evade. Oh, he gets a really good evasion chance. Okay, maybe let's throw him on the team. Let's see how that works. Who should we replace? Probably him? Yeah, I think that's going to be the best option. Okay, let's go ahead and try again now that we have a final trump card. Because he's also not final trump card, right? Let's see. Yeah. Okay, well that'll work. Or at least we hope it'll work. So now Gotenks will actually be a viable slot 1 for us. He wasn't this last time around. That was an oopsie by us, but that's all right. We've got our team properly built now. At least we knew exactly what the problem was. Anytime I see that Gotenks take damage like that, I know it's because he doesn't have his passive up. So yeah, that was just a little bit of a mistake. And then here we have... Oh, I guess Gotenks can still be slot 1 here. Yeah, that's not going to be a problem. I'm tempted to put them in slot 1 because they do have the 70% dodge, right? But they definitely will just stay on rotation for the entirety of the fight. That'll be fine. Alright, that's looking a little better. That's definitely more what we would expect to see, right? Okay. Well, barring this team not being able to take this down, like I said, we do still have another team build that we can go for. In fact, I do have two more different team builds that we can attempt, just in case. I wanted to have a couple of built, so that I wouldn't have to like pause the recording to kind of go back to the drawing board with team building. So we do have a couple of options. I have one that I'm a lot more excited about trying than the other, so we will be starting with that one. But worst case scenario, I do have a third backup option just in case. So, but yeah, I'm hoping if all goes according to plan, we'll be able to clear stage 3 with this team, and then we can just switch it up for stage 4. But at least I know for a fact, like, if this one clears stage 3 and doesn't seem to, like, barely scrape by or something, stage 4 usually, I mean, I say usually is a brand new event, but it doesn't look like stage 4 is that much harder. There's just a couple of extra possibilities to deal with. So if this team can clear stage 3, or any of the teams that we use can clear stage 3, then we know that they're going to be fine to clear stage 4 as well, because we are making sure to have at least 5 Hybrid Saiyans on all the teams we're using right now as well, right? Okay, we'll have Beast attack type advantage here, and then we'll avoid the type disadvantage with the other 2, continue our onslaught toward 18. Want to make sure to get a Rainbow Orb with him. That's good, and then we'll grab all these. Okay. Cool. Should be a solid turn. I imagine maybe only like one more turn after this until we're on to the next phase. Alright, getting a good bit of damage in here from Beast. Nice. Oh, there we go. Triple attack turn. You'll love to see it. Okay. Okay, now back to the major attack stats from our brand new units, right? Obviously, they're going to look even stronger once we're able to get their active skill going. And eventually, you know, tag switch into Gochen and Trunks might be an option. If we do get a little later in the fight, I might have to pause and look at their kit. I haven't really used this unit that many times since, you know, I don't own them and they're brand new. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to make things work, but I do know that they're like the strongest card on Hybrid Saiyans right now, so definitely someone we're going to want, right? Without a doubt, somebody that we're going to want to rely on the team. Okay, so he's got a turn 1 40% damage reduction, which is really good. He gets 250% defense when receiving an attack, so those are going to help him a lot. And it's nice that that one turn ability is going to reset in between each fight, right? That's going to help us out quite a bit. Okay, we want to keep our rotation like this. Let's just go ahead and use the active. This should finish him off. We'll move on to... Oh, not quite, not quite. Okay, my mistake. We will have to actually do a super attack, but that's perfectly fine. Just the one super should be enough, and then he's going to be done. All right, let's see. And then when there's another Hybrid Saiyan or Bond of Parent and Child category ally on the team, just on the team, so he's always going to have this active. He gets a bunch more stats, a bunch more attack and defense for all allies. Okay. Yeah, and then this part here where... if he grabs a Rainbow Key Sphere, he gets 200% defense and 38% damage reduction, so that right there alone should allow him to beat slot 1, at least on turn 1. Yeah, because turn 1, he's already going to have 40% damage reduction. This is going to give him 38% more, so he'll be at 78% damage reduction with 400% defense, and an additional 250 defense that he gets when he receives an attack. So, yeah, he should be able to be fine in slot 1 on turn 1 no matter what. So with that being established, we know we can put him slot 1 here and he's going to be safe. Okay. Sure. We will make that happen. We do need him to get a Rainbow Key Sphere, though. He has to, right? Yeah. Okay. So we'll do that. And then let's start prioritizing some same-type orbs. Just in the off chance we're here long enough to be able to get to that Dokkan attack, which I think we will be. Considering we've only gone through one phase and we're already more than halfway there. Granted, the bar does not start at 0, right? It starts a little bit filled up for you already, but still, we've been filling it fast enough. I think we will be able to launch this Dokkan attack by the end of the fight. Okay. Let's see. Alright. Let's see. He didn't launch a super in slot 1, did he? So we still have a super to deal with. I think the only time we would be in trouble here is if the super was in the last slot. Though that Teen Gohan does have guaranteed guard. So even if he does get supered, I think it's possible we'll live it. especially if he manages to get like 3 super attacks, because he is also infinitely stacking, right? Let's see here, let's see. I'm a little bit nervous because he hasn't supered yet, so this could be bad news for us. But as long as we're able to hang on with some type of HP, I think we'll be alright, because we have a pretty gnarly turn coming up. Okay. Alright, just no super this turn. He just decided not to. Okay, interesting. So there is more than likely gonna be a super attack on this turn. We'll make sure to get rainbow orbs for Gotenks. We can't actually get 24 key without selecting all of those orbs. I do not want to select those orbs, though. I want to leave those for the Gohan here. So we'll grab these to at least get them the 18 key. And then, yeah, we'll get all these with Gohan. Do as much damage as possible with him. The key field kind of was a little bit wonky on this turn. That could have gone better for sure, right? Okay. And it also looks like Gotenks failed his 200% defense. He has a high chance to get that when receiving an attack, and he did not double-digit tank there, so I'm pretty sure he just failed that proc. But it should... I was going to say, it has the additional chance to proc on every attack, so it definitely procced on that super, which is nice. And obviously is enough to keep us safe. It wasn't last time because we didn't have the final trump card ally giving him the additional defense boost and damage reduction, but now we do have that, so it's perfectly fine. Probably going to be a reliable tank in slot 1 all the way through the remainder of this fight. Or, like, the battle. All the fights, right? Okay, decent chunk of damage there from Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. You love to see it. Alright, and now let's go ahead and launch this active. Some free damage, and we're going to change the key spheres, right? And then this gives him... let's see. This is not his first turn. This is his third turn. I do want to put him in slot 1, though, I think. Over Beast. I mean, it doesn't really matter either way. Honestly, here's what we can do. We can just select all these orbs with him. Yeah, we'll select all these orbs with him, and then we can just use the Beast Gohan active and make sure he's the only one who gets touched this turn anyway. Yeah. That'll work fine. Okay, we'll grab all these orbs. Get the tech ones for Gotenks. And then we should be good. That should be the remainder of this fight. And all of these active skills that we just used, we're going to get back, because we're about to go back onto the map to start our next fight. So that is kind of convenient. This is also barring, you know, we actually KO the enemy here, which I'm assuming we're going to be able to do. Yeah, just because this guy's going to hit really hard here, right? And Beast is also going to get hit with like 6 attacks before he attacks. So that's going to help raise his stats up enough to be able to do a decent hit here. Yeah, okay. There we go. Surely there's no way that the enemy survives this turn. Probably not. Alright, so now we're going to be moving on to Broly. Let's see. His HP pool is going to be exactly the same as what we're working with right now. So, at least the first phase of Broly. He's got 200%, or 200 million HP. But the main thing about this next fight is that the attack power goes up a lot. So, really quick jump into battle here. Let me switch to the wiki and just show you. So, what we were dealing with before was like just under 2 million. Now he's up to 2.5 million. But the normal attacks go up quite a bit too. 900k up from 700, 600k. And then on the second phase, it's going to get even higher. 3.9, 1.3. That's when it's going to start to get insane. Especially with this. No cooldown. 36% chance to launch them 2 per turn. That's going to be really, really scary. So, yeah. And then this guy is also raising his attack on top of the 2.5 million, which is why I'm saying that it's really, really scary, right? So it's lucky he's only got the 18% chance. We're not going to be seeing this proc in slot 1, which would make all of his normals hit harder. So that's really good. Okay, let's switch back. Okay, obviously going to put Gotenks slot 1. It's kind of a rinse and repeat for each of these fights. Without the bosses having the ability to like lock us and switch up our rotations or anything like that. Kind of what we're dealing with, right? Okay, so that's the most amount of orbs we can get. I guess we'll just go for same type orbs. And then we can't really do same type orbs here, so we'll just grab some random ones. Call it good. Okay, so his passive did not proc again, I think, with that extra damage that he receives with attacks, right? Let me actually pull up his card, because maybe I'm misremembering the way this works. Let's see. Give me a second to pull him up on the wiki. Let's see. So when receiving an attack, he does get the guaranteed 77% chance, or 77% defense. He also gets attack. Let's see. For 5 turns, he's got the damage reduction. Oh, so the high chance is only when receiving a super attack. So those normals just hit hard. And he actually is a unique case of, at this point, he's a unit that's going to tank super attacks better in slot 1 than normal attacks, because he has a high chance of 777% defense when receiving a super. If that happens, if that procs, he's just going to double digit tank the supers to the boss enemy that he's not double digit tanking the normals of. So that's just kind of a funky piece of his kit, right? Okay, so we are on their first turn, so they've got a ton of damage reduction for us. So we definitely don't have to worry there, right? So we'll go ahead and just leave him slot 1. He should be perfectly safe. Get all these orbs for Beast. And then, let's see. Can we get a decent selection for him? 6. Not the worst. Sure. We'll go for that. Okay, let's see what things are looking like. We should be okay here. I imagine we're just going to double-digit tank everything up front. Yeah. And then, the only other attacks now are going to be against Beast and the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. So hopefully if there is a super attack, it launches against Beast. But honestly, the most ideal situation would just be if we finish him off before he gets to super, which it looks like that's pretty possible. In fact, yeah, if the super attack isn't against Beast, we're definitely going to KO him by slot 3, and then we'll be good. Oh, well, I guess slot 1 then. If he wants to just never stop attacking, I will definitely take that. No complaints here. Okay, so now, wow, that was a really, really fast 200 mil. Oh my goodness. Partly because he's tech type, right, and we have really strong int units, that kind of helped. Okay, so now we're on to the final phase. No time like the present. Let's go ahead and use the active skill. We are going to be using every single skill as we get access to them. So that active skill is going to give us more defense for the turn, right? Yeah, 77% defense for the turn. Perfect. And then we definitely want to put him in slot 1. Alright, and then there we go. We get the 24 key, so he'll get the guaranteed crits. Same for them. Awesome. And then what can we select with the Go Tanks? Oh, we can actually get the 5 key spheres, because him doing his 11 key super is actually the strongest one. I believe right now all it gives him is just additional defense power, so that's really not going to make that much of a difference. Are we good here? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so our high chance for the 777 procced, so we got an insane amount of defense there. That was a 3.9 million damaging super attack, and we just double-digit tanked it, so you love to see that. But remember, there is one more coming. There are 2 of those. But we already know that we procced his defense chance for the turn, so I'm pretty sure once it procs, it's already procced for the turn, so if he gets hit with the second super attack here, nice, we are guaranteed to double-digit tank this as well. Very good stuff. Cool, cool. And then I was going to say, even if it didn't launch here, in that second slot, if it launched, we have a 70% chance to dodge it, so we'd be fine. It's pretty safely assumable that we would be fine in that case, right? Alright, doing some heavy damage with the type advantage ally that we've got there. Okay, a cool 10 mil just from this unit. That's literally only on the team to activate the passive we had active in slot 1 there. Kind of cool, though, because we can't win without him, like we just realized. Okay, so we'll go ahead and launch this active skill here. It looks like we're not going to be able to get the Beast Gohan target skill up. Probably not. I think it's probably smarter to just keep him in slot 2, right? I guess really quick, let's switch to the wiki and just take a look at his kit. His kit versus the tag switch is kind of what I'm looking at. So we know he's got all the damage reduction and stuff in here. He's got the, he's gonna have this turn. Oh, maybe we should do this because of this, right? That 2-turn support. Because if we switch to them, yeah, they don't have any of this stuff. They're not giving... It's only youth categories, evasion, when receiving a super... Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to tag switch him. We're going to leave him in base. I think that that's going to work out a little bit better for our situation, what we've got going on here. Yeah, the problem is... Okay, I need to reset the app because it's going to mess up my orb selection here. If I click all these orbs... Oh, wait, maybe we still can get 5. Let's try that first. I'm going to click all these orbs with Beast, and then see if we can still get 5 rainbows. Yeah, we can't. Okay, so 1 second. Let me reset the app, and then we'll redo this turn. Okay, so thinking about this turn a little bit more strategically, just because we only have attacks in 2 slots, we should definitely keep Tech Gohan in the first slot. So what we're going to do now is we're going to select the orbs with him first, which unfortunately does give him a... Oh, wait a second. Okay. This is really annoying because the Dokkan attack was there. Let me reset the app one more time because that was a blunder. Okay, so to make sure that the Dokkan attack does not proc here on him, we're just going to select 1 key sphere, because any additional supers that he gets won't activate the Dokkan attack. The only thing that can activate the Dokkan attack is if your very first attack is a super, right? So now let's go ahead and do the active skill. That way we had our first units orbs selected, so they're not going to disturb the key field, and then we can go and select all the orbs with him now. Perfect. Okay, so we can grab all of these. This should probably be fine. Actually... Let's do these orbs, because we're already at... Oh, no. In order to get the Dokkan attack, we need to make sure to just select some same type orbs, just to make sure it pops over. It probably would have been fine anyway, but I just want to be extra sure there. Okay, so there we go. Now we have fully maximized the turn. It is very likely that both those super attacks are those first 2 attacks right there, which are against the strongest defensive capability we've got on the turn, and we have a really nice Dokkan attack coming in from, you know, this active skill turn. So... this is about to be quite insane. And I'm pretty sure we know that we can survive this turn no matter what, just because both the units that are getting hit with these super attacks here should have the capability to tank them, right? So, let's see how we do. Alright, focus. As hard as it is to focus, considering I live inside a zoo. Sorry, nothing I can do about the background noise. If you can hear that, you'll have to just excuse it. Okay, let's see. Alright, nice bit of damage there from the Dokkan attack. We will definitely take that. That's a good way to lead us in to the next turn. Are we going to have more active skills on the next turn? We might. No, we shouldn't, actually. I think we already used the Gotenks one, right? Yeah, so... That is actually an interesting kind of case going on with this team. We're not really going to have many active skills going. I think we've kind of used everything, because we already established we're not going to get the Beast Gohan one. Ooh, we still took damage through that. Wow, that was scary. I'm a little bit concerned about whether Beast is going to be able to tank then. We are still within his entrance animation, and we didn't even take like 50% of our HP with that other hit, so we should be okay. But I'm pretty sure that this is a super attack right here, right? Let's see. Yeah, it is. Was this boss raising his stats on super? He's not. Okay. So this is actually a really, really good 1-to-1. It turns out Beast Gohan is the better tank. Definitely not a problem. But now we're going to need the fight to last so long to be able to use Beast Gohan's active since we just rotated him off, right? That was kind of the point I was getting at. Okay, what do we do here? I guess we could still keep Gotenks slot 1. So the thing is, there's 3 attacks here. 2 of them are supers, 1 of them is a normal. We don't know which one's the normal. That's what kind of hurts us here, right? Because obviously, if both the super attacks are in slot 2, we definitely want... Actually, yeah. Because I think Gotenks might take some damage from it. Let's keep him in slot 1. Because he has a lower chance to proc the 777 defense than they do chance to dodge, right? Yeah, so I think this is the smartest way to go about it. Alright, we'll grab 24 key for them. We can get them to 24 key. Good bit of same type orb selection as well. And then I guess we'll grab these 5, or these 7. Alright, let's see how this goes. I'm pretty sure we're going to be okay to live this turn. I'm just curious about, like, next turn, even. Because we're probably not going to do enough damage to finish this off. And we're already, like, post-active skills. And we've got 2 of our most fodder units on the next rotation because we had to rotate Beast Gohan, right? So that is definitely going to hurt here. 70 million, though. Wow. That's really, really good. Hopefully they get an additional super attack. They didn't last turn, which definitely hurt the amount of damage they're doing. Come on. Ah, no additional. Okay. Well, that's a bit annoying. But as long as we dodge these, we should be okay. We didn't dodge. Okay, so we're dead. Oh, they... Wow. Double-digit tank? On 3.9 million? Holy moly, I must be missing something with that unit. That's insane. That's really, really good. I bet you they have, like, a lot of damage reduction or something that I just wasn't aware of. Again, haven't used that unit too many times, as they are pretty new. Okay, so, I guess the name of the game at this point... No, I don't even know. What do we do here? Okay, first of all, let's take a look at our defense stats. All way too low to be able to tank anything, right? He's no longer on his first turn to be able to get all of that active skill damage. Let's switch back to the wiki. We're going to need to take a real long, hard look at this. Because we know for sure that the tech Gohan, the Ultimate Gohan, is not going to be able to take those attacks, so he has to be floated. So the 2 units that have to face it against the super attacks is going to be this guy and then the other Gotenks. We know that that Gotenks is going to have like 80-something% chance to dodge, so we're just going to leave him where he can dodge. But for this unit, we need to decide which of these 2 is going to be better, whether we want them tag switched or not. So, let's see. They have, with a key sphere obtained... Oh, they have a bunch of evasion as well. And per youth, they're getting even more evasion. Wait, per youth category ally on the team, they get 10% evasion. With a key sphere, they get 77%. So does that mean if there's 3 youth category allies, which there is, that he has 100% dodge? Or are those separate procs? Surely those are separate procs, right? Like, there's no way. Oh, no, they're not separate procs, but this is a one-time ability. Okay, let's use it. Yep, 100% dodge. That's, pretty free and easy choice there, right? Okay. So they have 100% dodge. We'll put them against 2 of the attacks where he is only going to need the 1. And just to remember really quick, I don't feel like looking them up on the wiki. Let's just do it here. So it was high chance, and then with 12 or more key, he gets the 33%. Okay, perfect. So yeah, just get him up to that and we'll be good. And then they are going to have 100% dodge upon us selecting a singular key sphere at all. So that should work. And then I guess let's go ahead and transform with Ultimate Gohan, just so he has the ability to do a little bit more damage this turn. His stacking is done for, but it doesn't matter because we're at the end of the event anyway. And then this way he is going to have a better chance to possibly KO the enemy if we're like close to that point, right? Might end up mitigating us having to do another turn in here before we win. So we'll see. Alright, see these dodges, please? Yes, sir, there's one. Alright, gonna get some good heavy damage in here, and then we'll see about the next dodge. And now we know we only have to get one, since one of the super attacks was launched. Oh, well, it's 100%. Never mind. We don't have to wait for any RNG. We already know we're guaranteed for it. Okay, so yeah, unfortunately, it's looking like he's probably going to survive this turn. So we do have the one more turn to deal with here. But on that turn, I believe we finally get our Beast Gohan back, and we would be able to use his active. So worst case scenario, we could do that. But I believe he's also outside the bounds of his entrance animation, which is going to hurt. Because he loses 40% damage reduction, so I don't think it might not even be the wisest idea to use his active. He might be potentially KO'd by the supers here. So yeah, I think probably what I'm going to do is just put the AGL unit in slot 1, so they can do as much damage as possible. They'll probably just finish him off. Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, we're just going to do that. So we'll put him in slot 1. Hopefully we'll just KO before we take any of these attacks, but then worst case, they could dodge the supers, and then we'll definitely finish him up by the end here. Okay. Perfect. There we go. Okay, now he has been taken down. That is stage 3 cleared. So now we just got to do stage 4. This is definitely going to, I think, be a little bit better of a team build. The stage 4 that we've got going. Man, 27 minutes. That took so long. Okay, yeah, so that should have been all the missions there. Cool, and then we just have the stuff left for stage 4. So, the team that we're going to switch up for is this one. So we've got a GT Heroes and Fuse Fighter build. Now, we only have 5 out of 6 Hybrid Saiyans, but that's all we are required to have for the mission. I think that is a really cool limit because it allows you to use whatever leader in the game you want, as long as you can put Hybrid Saiyans on their team, right? So let's go ahead and try it out with this. See if, you know, some of these new GT Heroes buffs can get us through, right? Oh, and then I guess another thing I didn't double check on this team as well is that we have a Final Trump card ally, but I'm pretty sure the LR Super Saiyan 4s are on Final Trump card, so we should be okay for the Tech Go tanks, right? Let me just triple check that before we, like, start grinding away here. But I'm almost 100% sure. Yeah, there we go. They're on FTC. Okay. Alright, so the one main challenge with this event here, or with this team build specifically, is going to be turn 3. Turn 3 is going to be really, really tough. So let's go ahead and start attacking away with them. This, grab all these. Okay, so yeah, the reason turn 3 is going to suck is because we already have a rotation set on the front of, like, both the LR Super Saiyan 4s being on opposite rotations. They are going to be our de facto slot 1s that we're going to try to, you know, keep us safe in slot 1 throughout the entire fight. But the problem is, on turn 3, whichever one of them is around on turn 3 is not going to have their ability to transform or their damage reduction. So that's going to be really scary. So that's why I opted not to keep Pan on rotation, because that way on turn 3 we can have the AGL unit dodge in slot 1 for us instead. Since we're not going to be able to depend on these guys to tank up front for us, right? So we're going to repeatedly have to deal with that issue. In fact, 3 times we will have to deal with that issue because there is 3 fights in a row that we have to beat, right? So it's going to keep resetting us, and we're going to keep having to face off against turn 3. So that's really the only fear I have with this event, right? Okay, so just to update you on the way that this stage changed between stage 3 and stage 4, because it is almost copy-paste the exact same fight, down to even, like, the boss stats. All of the, like, HP pools are exactly the same, the damage reduction's exactly the same. Literally, the only thing that goes up is their attack power and the defense capabilities by just a little bit. Just a little bit. But yeah, so the main thing that changes between the fights is just the abilities that the bosses get. So on this first phase, the boss ability is that they are giving themselves stats based on the other unit being around. So 18 is giving herself a little bit of attack with 17 being there, and then he's giving himself defense with her being there. So once we KO one of them, then those little abilities won't be a thing anymore. But it also doesn't matter too much because this first phase is pretty weak anyway. So even with the additional, it's literally 17% that they're getting and 18% respectively. So it's kind of nothing on top of the nothing that they already have. We're only going to have to be concerned about what's going on starting on the next phase. And then moving on later than that too is going to be kind of scary, to be honest with you. There is actually something I just saw on there that I didn't even realize. Okay, yeah, that's going to be a problem. We will highlight that when we get to it, though. Holy moly. Okay, well, so far so good on the damage front. Definitely not looking too bad there. The first couple of phases are going to go a little bit slower just because we're not really going to be in these fights long enough to get all the active skills going and stuff. But once we move on to the next fight, or the final fight, rather, the first two are going to be slow. And then the final fight should be a little better. Just because we're going to get to transform with the LR Super Saiyan 4s. We'll have a permanent scouter because they're going to be on both sides of the rotation. So once we have both of them transformed, I think from that point forward, we should pretty much guaranteed win. Alright, we've got... I was going to say, we've got a really good dodging kit on him. So he should not get hit by a single attack throughout the entire event. That is kind of the idea here. Okay, and then now we're on to turn 3. We did get Tech Go Tanks here, so I think we'll go ahead and leave him on rotation then. Because he is going to be a better slot 1. Just because we know he can tank everything, right? Okay. Let's go ahead and select these, and then we can get same type orbs for the other two. This should probably... Oh, it didn't even grab the same types. Whoops. That was a little blunder by me, but no big deal, no big deal. Hopefully that one selection right there won't hinder us from being able to get the Dokkan attack. Hopefully not. But obviously it would have been wiser to get the AGL orbs there. I was just selecting a little too quickly. Right. We're going to get another turn of stacking in here for them, which completely doesn't matter because it's about to all be reset. Fun stuff. I'm a little bit pleased, though, that our rotation started out nice. This is good. This is good. This first fight would have just been that much more agonizing, right? If we had to first rotate around the Super Saiyan 4s and get them onto the proper rotations. Oh, this definitely works out for that purpose. Okay, yeah, and then we have a really, really hard hitter coming in right here. So hopefully, 40 mil is probably not going to be enough. He's probably going to need an additional to KO right here. Let's see. It's close, it's close. Oh, just barely. Okay. Well, that's not the biggest deal. The only reason that sucks is because now we're not going to have Tech Go Tanks on turn 3 on the next fight. Yeah. That's a little bit annoying. Okay, rather than dealing with any of those animations, let's just use the active skill just to end this a little quicker. We can move on to the next fight. Probably should have put Pan instead of Trunks because the next fight is Int. So that was a little bit of a mistake, but I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. Okay. Yeah, we do have lots of physical units, so this is kind of nice for this second fight right here. Okay. Yeah, we'll do this. Alright, so we get 24 ki with them. Not quite. Alright. Grab these orbs. Can we get 24 ki with him? Absolutely. There we go. And then we only need the one orb there. Okay, so this boss has a mechanic that deals 150,000 damage to us every turn. We can't be KO'd from that damage, but it will be inflicted upon us time after time after time again. I assume at the start of every single turn, the way that usually works. 150,000 damage is a little bit. On stage 2, with the Fuse Fighter setup, there was one of the phases that had the same ability, but it was only giving like 20,000 or 30,000 damage worth, you know, like dealing to our HP bar, and that's really not that detrimental. Like you're easily able to heal that back with same type orb selection. 150k is a little bit more formidable. As you can see, that brought us down to like 77%. So yeah, that is definitely going to hurt a little bit more if we're unable to finish off this fight quickly, right? But like I said, we do have some really strong physical units on this team, so I don't think that that's going to be too much of a bother. Especially if we're able to get to turn 4 here. Because if we are on turn 4, we're going to transform with the LR Super Saiyan 4s, and then I would assume by then he's going to be below 50% HP, and then we'll have the active skill for them too. So them on their active skill turn, it would be a definite GG for the enemy, right? We're not going to take any damage, and they're going to easily be able to flatten him, so. Alright, first turn survived, and then now we've got turn 2 here. Perfect. Oh, I am actually silly. I calculated that stuff incorrectly. We literally do have Tech Go Tanks on turn 3. That actually worked out the way that I wanted it to. That's kind of funny. Okay, so we've got this. Let's see if we can grab... It's not going to let us get the STR orbs. Ugh. Okay, we'll just get the AGL ones. That's fine. Okay, our HP isn't looking too amazing right now, but, you know, that's not because our units are taking damage, which is the good news. We just gotta hurry through this fight because, holy moly, it's depleting all of our HP for a really scary phase coming up, like, next, right? So I can see why this fight is a little bit cheeky here. With all of that HP reduction, right? Definitely kind of a scary thing to see. Probably starting next turn, we're going to need to make sure that we are getting quite a few same type orbs selected. We just had way too much rainbow orb changing on this rotation for that to be a thing, right? So yeah, unfortunately, we were not able to make super big use of any same type orbs because the whole board was rainbow. But I don't think we're going to suffer that issue on the next turn, so we should be looking a little bit better. Okay, yeah, it definitely doesn't look like we're going to be able to finish him by turn 3, so it is going to be turn 4. But I worry that we're only going to have like 25% of our remaining HP by then. So that could actually be really, really scary if we get unlucky in the final fight, right? Holy moly. Ugh. Okay, so we have Go Tanks. He has to go slot 1. Has to. Okay, and we still can't get any same type orbs. What does the next turn look like? Okay, let's grab these because the next turn has that AGL. Oh, we're forced to grab the AGL orbs. There's literally nothing else we can get. Oh, that sucks so bad. Okay. Yeah, the same type orb selection on this phase has been atrocious. That's been hurting us a lot. I think if we ran this back, and we played through this phase again, we would probably end it with like 75% HP. We just got like massively unlucky with the orb selection. So that is really, really going to hurt, especially because we're about to get hit one more time on the next turn. And we've got 32% of our HP left. So yeah, we're about to be totally screwed going into this final fight. I think we actually have a pretty low chance of winning right now, because of what happened with our HP on this phase, right? Yeah, that's really, really bad. Man, if this phase continually is like this and it proves to be this difficult, like no matter what setup we come in here with, I'm thinking a revive character is probably going to be in the works. Because that's going to be the easiest way to counter this, right? Just let them lower your HP through the floor, and then once we get to that final Broly phase, we have no HP, but then we just revive. Would be kind of nice. Or even if we revive on this phase would be cool, because the revive will reset between each of the battles, right? That alone is a reason enough to have a revive character. Because you could use it multiple times throughout this fight. Okay. All the rest of our HP gone. Love it. Okay, now let's... How do we want to do this? Okay, I want to make sure that when we transform, the rainbow orb selection does not completely cuck us. So what we're going to do is first select the AGL orbs so we can get some guaranteed healing in here. Then we'll do the transformation to make sure those AGL orbs don't disappear. Okay, cool. And then we can also just do his active skill. Yeah, might as well. There's nothing else we need to do for the turn, so that'll work. Okay. Perfect. And now we are moving on to the final fight. At least we were able to get a little bit of orb selection in there to give us somewhat of a cushion to at least tank some normal attacks. But yeah, a little bit scared about this. Okay, so before we select anything, let's switch to the wiki, take a look at the boss stats. So for this is... we're looking at 4 million defense, so we're going to need to crit and to do any damage, basically, is what's happening here. He only had 2 million defense on stage 3, but now on stage 4, they literally doubled it. So that is insane. We're not going to be able to do any damage without critical hits. That's like a guarantee. And then he's also got some key subtraction mechanics, as well as raising his own super. He's already got a 3 million damaging super attack, 1.1 million damaging normals with a 30% raise after he supers. That's very scary to go against. And then obviously Broly is the same deal, just even stronger, right? His defense does actually go down considerably, which is good. But he has a damage threshold as well. Okay, so let's switch back and get started with this thing. Okay, so back to a solid turn 1. That means that we can keep, we can keep the Super Saiyan 4s right where they're at. We do have to keep Gotenks here, so that he can be our slot 1 on turn 3. We don't have a choice with that. Otherwise, I would love to link these two up, but we're not going to be able to do that for now. I mean, I suppose we could do this and put Gotenks slot 1. I'm just a little bit scared that Gotenks can't tank quite as well as they can. Do they get any more defense with being next to... They do get more defense next to him. Let's do this. Let's do this. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake. We can always run the stage back, but I think we'll be okay here. Aw, dang. What is... He has 200k. That's enough defense for it to actually, like, do something. So we'll do this. When I mean do something, I mean to grab same type orbs for healing. It should actually do something for us. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we're up to almost 300k. We should be able to double-digit tank this because it's a super attack specifically. He did not get the additional proc for his defense, so Gotenks just failed us there. He had an ability that he had a 50% chance to apply and just did not apply, right? Okay, we definitely can do it with this team. What I'm going to do here, though, is I am going to bring just a Senzu Bean. Just to give us the one fairness of if going into that final fight, we, we have, like, super, super low HP, then I'll use the Senzu Bean, just get us back to full, and then we'll go from there. But I think we would have even still survived right there. We had 42% of our HP. It was, like, a solid, like, 280k, and then he just failed to get the 777 defense proc on that super. Because obviously with the normals, as we've talked about earlier in the video, with the normals, he would have not tanked. Like, that was the best he could do. He's going to take 100k on that. But then the super, he absolutely could have double-digit tanked. So, a little bit unfortunate to see that happen. But not a huge deal. Not a huge deal. Okay, so I think in the interest of time, since we're almost at an hour here, what I'm gonna do is, the first part of this fight is just, like, really dull. So we'll just battle through this first phase, and then you guys can watch me on the second phase at least, so we can see the whole, how that whole HP reduction thing plays out this time. So I'll make a quick cut, and then I'll join up with you guys when we get back to the Bojack phase. Alright, so we are back on the Bojack phase, so let's see if we can get a little bit luckier this time with the HP situation that we had going on. So we ended that last fight with, like, a little bit. We got tapped by one of our banner units, so we lost a little bit. So now we're down to 60% already, and things are still looking pretty rough as far as same type orb selection, unfortunately. So to make sure we have as many links active as possible, I think I'm going to do this, because we can also grab all these AGL orbs up front. And then that way we can have our two GT Heroes characters linked up together. Yeah, that should be good. And then we'll grab all of these purple orbs just to get them out of the way so that we have a better chance for same type orb selection coming up. I think that that's going to be a smart way to go. Okay, so on the next turn, we have Tech and Physical. So we'll get all these STR orbs. Perfect. There we go. It's already looking better. And then on the next turn, we're going to have a decent selection as well. That did not go according to the plan. They were not supposed to get hit there. So there goes all of our HP again. Great. Well, that is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, all that planning and redoing the entire stage just for the unit that wasn't supposed to get touched to tank our entire HP bar with one hit. Great. Love that. Love that. Okay, well, still, I'm pretty confident we'll be able to get our HP up to a workable number. We're going to start the next turn with 1 HP, because the reduction will take us down to that low. It can't actually take us to 0, because it won't KO us, but it is going to take us to 1, and then any of the same type orb selection we have is all we're going to have to depend on for HP for the turn. So that's actually going to be really, really scary. It is still possible for us to win this phase. Even without the Senzu Bean item, which I am going to try to do unless I feel like we're in really dire straits, then I may depend on using it. But for now, I want to at least try to get through the Bojack phase without using the item. And then if we're at like a really, pathetically low HP number at the start of the next fight, maybe that's when I'll use the Senzu Bean. Okay, so here we go. Down to 1 HP. Now, because we're on turn 2... we do still have access to the damage reduction from the LR Super Saiyan 4s. I guess let's just go ahead and leave the rotation like this. Again, grab all these orbs to get them all out of the way. So hopefully we can get more same type orb selection. And then, yeah, it looks like we do get decently lucky with that. So we can get physical orbs here and physical orbs here. Okay. Let's see what it looks like. 50k. That's all we have to work with is 50k. Yep, definitely a little bit nervous about our ability to survive the turn, to be honest with you. The double super definitely helps out here. He's going to get more defense. So hopefully he should be able to double-digit tank since he's post-super. He's kind of going to have to be honest with you. Let's see. Yes, awesome. Okay, so now we should be safe, for sure. Because they are going to double-digit tank everything for sure, and then the Go tanks hopefully will just dodge in that final slot, and we'll be all right. But the problem is we didn't get enough healing, so we're going to have to repeat this again and get like a 1 HP turn start on the next turn as well. So yeah, that's actually like very bad for us, right? And it looks like next turn is probably going to be the last turn of this fight too, if I saw correctly what HP bars we're at. Yeah. Because we have the Goten and Trunks there, they hit so hard that probably them alongside the LR Super Saiyan 4s is going to be enough. But yeah, no, next turn actually is going to be really scary because with no HP and the LR Super Saiyan 4s not having their 77% reduction, this could be like problematic for us. So yeah, we might need to make some decisions. Maybe next turn is where we'll be going at it with that Senzu Bean. Which would just be a little bit unsatisfying, because I know this team can beat it. Based on what just happened on the last run, I know this team can beat it. We were already in a position to beat it. Like, literally all that needed to happen was Gotenks needed to proc his 50% chance for the 777 defense on that one super attack, and then if that happened, we won. That was all we needed to win, because we would have guaranteed survived the rest of the turn from that, and then starting on the next turn, we would have been able to transform with the LR Super Saiyan 4s. And then with Gogeta's on both rotations, this event doesn't stand a chance, right? So we had a shot. It just didn't work out. Okay. So here, luckily, we have a lot of AGL orbs we're able to select. Nice. That actually got us a lot of our HP back. And this is going to give us a ton, too, because both of them are at very, very significant defense numbers. So yeah, there we go. Awesome. That looks pretty solid to me. Okay, so now we just have to have them not get hit by an attack again. They just have to dodge. If they're not going to KO themselves, then they have to dodge. And then hopefully the LR Super Saiyan 4s will be able to clean up whatever they don't take out. Oh, actually, wow. Never mind. Maybe we are in trouble here. They didn't do nearly enough damage, especially without an additional. I don't think we're going to be able to match that. We're going to need like the quadruple super quadruple crit turn from them. Okay, so far so good. All right, we're 2 for 2. 2 for 2 on the super attacks. Let's see if we crit on this one. Nice, we are perfectly 2 for 2. Okay, and the third coming in. Man, I don't even know if that's going to be enough. I feel like that crit didn't do enough for us to actually finish them. Like, maybe... Yeah, that's it. Okay, at least they double-digit tank the normal. We do like to see that. Maybe Pan can finish this off with an additional? She didn't get an additional. But, okay, she's still not taking damage, so we're good. Except for the 150k we're about to take right here for free, because that's what the boss does. Yeah, big unfortunate. Okay. What's the strat? What's the play? What's the play? So, this is the final phase. This is the final turn of this phase. And we're going to be moving into turn 1 will be on the opposite rotation, which means this will be our turn 2 Gogeta. So he'll be on turn 2 where he's safe, and then turn 4 where he's transformed. So we don't need to worry about having Gotenks on rotation with him. So I think what we're going to do here, just to maximize the HP we have going into the next battle, we're going to go like this. We will go select all these orbs, get a little bit more HP back, and then... Oh, actually, we could do the Gotenks active. So we could even... Oh, well, we can't get the same type orbs. Never mind. Yeah, so then we'll go like this. Transform them now, and then do the active skill. Oh, wait, actually, does that allow us now to get the same type orbs? No, it doesn't. Okay, I was going to say, because we can still use the Gotenks active to finish it if we weren't going to use his. But that's fine. This will work out. It would have been minuscule healing anyway. It was literally one same type orb, right? But there we go. So now we're starting with 53% HP, which even despite the blunder that happened where we got hit, remember, at one point we got hit for 400k with one attack. Had that not happened, we would be at 100% HP right now, and we still did not use the Senzu Bean. So I am pretty impressed with that, and I think that my my hunch last time that was like a really, really horrible RNG turn was correct, right? Okay. So now we have a little bit of a pickle because there's only attacks in the last 2 slots. So guaranteed we want them to be slot 2 because we don't want them to be rotated off, but it's also a waste for them to be in slot 1 and not utilize their 77% reduction. So we have to do this. Now the real question is, do we want... Which Gotenks do we want in slot 1 versus slot 3? I think probably like this, right? This is going to keep him on rotation for the remainder of the fight, which is nice. But having this unit... Oh, yeah. No, we need to do this because of turn 3. Oh, wait, actually, Gotenks, we rotated Gotenks off, so he's going to be on this rotation on turn 3. Okay, because we're getting Tech Gotenks on this rotation, I think this makes sense to do then. We have a better chance to be safe in that final slot there with this going on. Yeah. This is what we're going to do. Okay, so we'll select these. Let's try to avoid the AGL orbs if we can. We can't. Okay, well, there's nothing we can do about it, so we just have to get them. That really sucks, man. You know, the new battle system they were talking about, I think one of the cooler things they could do, if they don't completely get rid of the key field and make a different way to select orbs, is to give you the option to select which path you want, because I really want the purple orbs right now so that I can save the blue ones for healing in the final slot, right? Obviously, I could do this and just do like a 12 key, but I don't think that overall that's the smartest idea. Maybe it is. I'll get a lot of healing. What's their defense? I mean, their defense did reset because it's the start of the battle, so it's only 300k. Let's just go ahead and do this. And then, yeah, of course, still not going to get same type orbs. Who do we have coming up next, though? We want to save those reds. Okay. Alright, let's see. We should be okay here, but let's see what happens. Remember that we do have a 3 million damage super attack coming in. That it's actually going to be 30% more than that. So, like, almost 4 million damage is what we're looking at. And again, we're not going to do any damage unless we're critting because of his defense value. Which should not be too much of a problem for some of these units, especially post-transformation. Oh, wow, they even ate through that 4 million defense. That's pretty good. I guess his damage reduction is a little bit lower. It's only 50% comparative to, like, units that are usually, you know, boss level damage reduction is like 70% plus. So, that probably is what's helping balance that out. for these units that just hit so hard, right? Okay, but obviously because of his insane defense value, the more critical hits we get, the better. We will just end up doing more damage overall that way. Alright, and a very solid first turn from them. Love seeing them get as many stacks as possible, especially now that it matters, right? Because we are actually going to get to a point of transforming. Okay, perfect. That is kind of exactly where I wanted to see the super attack launch. After 4 supers and the 77% damage reduction, no way he was going to be damaged by that at all, right? So now he just has a little bit harder hitting of normals because of that 30% increase, but we should still be okay here because we've got a lot of dodge here in this final slot. Nice, that was a pretty massive attack, so now we just gotta dodge the rest of these. We should be in business. Oh, okay, they were still capable of tanking even getting hit by one of those. You love to see it. Okay, who do we want to keep on rotation? Next phase is STR, so I think I'm gonna rotate Pan off. Just because she has type disadvantage in the next phase coming up. I think that's the smarter play there. Shoot. We're running into the same problem again. No. I really want to start healing. Okay, let's just do this. I really want to start healing. I think that's super important for us to be able to do here. To get some of this HP back. So let me just kind of purposely nerf the way I'm grabbing orbs in order to get the most amount of same type orbs here. Okay, yeah. That'll work. And we know because of his attack cooldown, it's a 7 attack cooldown, that he's not going to be able to super in slot 1, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I guess they're just missing out on like a guaranteed additional because we didn't get them to 20 key. And then obviously they're not going to be hitting nearly as hard. The attack, oh, actually their stacks aren't going to be as good because they didn't get an 18 key to greatly raise. So yeah, that's, we kind of did hinder ourselves in a lot of ways right now, but I think it's important for us not to just be permanently stuck at that 50% HP. Because I think the worst thing that can happen on this team is, like we saw earlier, where one of the units that has a chance to do something doesn't do it with that chance, and maybe we tank like our full bar but don't quite get KO'd, right? So if we only have 50%, a unit's passive failing could mean the difference between life and death. Like that. Oh, well, we're done for no matter what. She had to dodge that, yeah. Oh! No, that is so poetic. If we didn't select orbs the way we did this turn to heal, now 1,957? That's insane. So, that was not a KO survival. If you get a KO survival, you have 1 HP. That was just us having perfectly the right amount of HP to survive that. There's no way. That's actually insane that that just happened. Wow. Okay, so now we're faced with a whole new set of problems. We don't have same type orbs to be able to heal. We don't have 70% damage reduction to be able to live in slot 1 with the LR Super Saiyan 4s. And we already know from all the previous attempts that this guy cannot tank normals for double digits. So I think the only way we can live here without using an item is to put that Gotenks in slot 1 and hope he dodges everything, including the super attack. Or, well, the super attack can come in later. It's just going to have to come in slot 3. And he's going to have to proc his passive for it. I think that's the only way we win here. At this point, let's try it. Because the other thing we could do is use the Senzu Bean, right? But if we use the Senzu Bean... Oh, hold on. He just supered. And we know that his super attack cooldown... 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah. So... Okay, yeah, let's do this. But even if we use the Senzu Bean, I think we still would get KO'd here if, like, all that that's going to allow us to do is, like, take a normal with Gotenks once. Or maybe do a little bit better with the normal attack that we tank from here, right? But, basically living this turn is still going to be up to Gotenks to get that, high chance for his defense to proc. That's what we need to have happen. Okay, he's got 1 million... Let's try this. Let's clear all these orbs out and see if we can get some same type orb selection to make this a little less scary. No, now we're even getting less orb select. Oh my god. This is so bad for us. This is literally so bad. Okay, let's do that at least. Get them to their full 24 key, and then again, we're still going to get cucked out of same type orbs. I'm just going to use the Senzu Bean. We've been at this for an hour, and I don't feel like doing it anymore. And we also had to waste the Dokkan attack for this turn, so we're just going to use the Sen. Let's just run it. I think we still have a pretty low chance to win here, to be honest with you. I think we got cucked pretty hard, but let's see. Let's see. Okay, Dokkan attack with an absolutely character, because we couldn't really do it with anyone else. I mean, I guess we could have put Gotenks slot 1. Or, like, we could have put the LR Super Saiyan 4 slot 1. They would have taken definitely a chunk of damage on that first normal attack. But because we know they weren't going to get supered, they probably wouldn't have taken any damage after supering, because their defense raises by so much, and it's already upwards of 1 million. And the attack stat on this phase is 1.6 million for normals. So, Well, the other thing is they have type disadvantage, and they don't have guard anymore. So, yeah, no, they probably would have been KO'd from a normal in the first slot. I think we made the right choice, not putting them there. But yeah, that obviously hurt the amount of damage we were able to do with the Dokkan attack, unfortunately. Okay. I guess we are looking alright at this point. Since we dodged all those attacks up front, I think we're going to be fine. And then now, knowing that we did dodge those, we probably didn't need to use the Senzu Bean, right? Well, actually, I don't know. We're going to see how Gotenks performs. Because he'll probably double-digit tank all the normals at the end there after having supered. Let's see. Let's... Okay, yeah. We are fine. We are fine. And there was no super attack, which means his cooldown is done now, so that super attack could be anywhere. But good news for us, we have this transformation. Man, I guess it would have been a much more flashy finish if I had not used that Senzu Bean, because we would have actually lived that last turn. We only took double digits from everything. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But I guess it's pseudo no item just because of that, right? We didn't choose to take the risk, but we could have. And then I assume this is just going to finish off this phase, which is good. Oh, wait. That was a mistake. I forgot there's still another phase of the fight. Let me go ahead and rectify that. 1 second. Let me app reset. Okay, sorry about that. I just don't want, after this much grinding on this event, a simple mistake like that to really cost us. That would be incredibly unfortunate. So, okay, let's go ahead and... Oh, man, this is a really tough decision. So here's the thing. I can transform with them right now. I could transform with them. I should have scouted fish. I didn't even look where the super attack was. Okay, yeah, really quick. I'm gonna do this so that I can get one more turn of stacking with them. We're not gonna transform them this turn. So let's do scouter fish really quick. The super attack is in slot 1, which means we have to transform with them. Or we have to put Gotenks in slot 1. So I guess let's do that instead. Okay, one more app reset, and then we'll be out of here. Okay, so we are going to save their transformation because we don't need that turn of safety with all the, defense and such right now. I'm worried about putting them in slot 1, because if they don't KO, there's a super attack there, and they no longer have their damage reduction, so they would be done for. So we got to put these guys up front. Just because they have a much better chance to KO the enemy, and then even if they don't, they have a lot of dodge, so they'll be able to face off against that super just fine. And then this should set us up nicely for the next turn. Unfortunately, we weren't able to fully maximize here, because, like I said, I was worried that the base form version of the LR Super Saiyan 4s wouldn't do enough damage to KO, so we couldn't prioritize like getting them another turn of stacks and stuff. Oh, I was like, are they not going to dodge it? No way. Okay, we're good, we're good. So there we go. Now that we've at least dealt with the super attack for the turn, now we do get some extra stacks in here for them, which is good. To be honest with you, I thought that the Gotenks was going to absolutely finish this off. Oh, wow, it looks like I did things in the wrong order. I absolutely should have put them slot 1. They would have been able to handle it in 2 super attacks anyway. But that's perfectly fine. We got the same result out of it. No harm, no foul. Okay. So now we are on to the very final phase. Here we go. Now this is where we can start just dropping all the active skills and stuff immediately. So we're not going to get the active skill super with them, but we can at least transform. So we're going to get to see where the super attacks are. Great. 2 different slots here. Love to see that. Okay, so we're going to put Gogeta in the first slot as opposed to the third for 2 reasons. 1, obviously to keep him on rotation, and 2, because the super attack happening in the first slot... Oh, it is actually the first super. No. Or the first attack. I was going to say, it looks like it's the second attack. It's actually the first one. So unfortunately, when we super attack him right now, we're about to nullify the super attack that he does, which means it won't launch, so we're not going to be able to counter it for some additional damage, right? So it's just going to be that one at the end that we'll have to dodge in order to live the turn. And then now that we've got the rainbow orb changing that's happening every turn, I'm not too worried about like same type orb selection. We're also at 100% HP right now, so we're kind of chilling. All right, let's see how this goes. So now this is the part where it hurts us a little bit that we have so many physical units on the team, right? Considering the last enemy that we're facing against is a physical type, or is an STR type. But hopefully that won't be too much of a problem for us. We do have some heavy crit potential on these units as well. And also, the singular hardest hitting unit on the team is AGL, so we're good to go there. Okay, solid 15 million from Pan. I was going to say, I don't even think she is going to make it past the damage threshold. Gotenks probably won't either. Yeah, no, he definitely won't. He's got half of her attack. That's perfectly fine, though. That's not why these units are here. They are literally only here to be some Hybrid Saiyans. Just be your Hybrid Saiyan self. You don't have to do anything else. Well, dodge. That would be nice, you know. That's definitely something we could ask for. Okay, yeah, even with a crit, that man doesn't dodge, or doesn't do any damage. Okay, cool. Dodge the super, so we are chilling. Okay, and then same deal. So it looks like, again, we are going to have 2 supers out of these 3 attacks. We don't know which ones they are yet. So we just got to transform here, and then now we know. So, okay, it's the exact same as before, except... Now, yes, that's even luckier. That's even luckier. That's what we wanted to see. Okay, let's use the Gotenks active just for free damage. I'm not planning on using this for a defensive capability at all. Only using that for damage. Because he is going to be in slot 1 for us this time around. We'll put him in slot 1 there. That way we can now this time attack break the normal, and we'll get to counter the super. And then we can just dodge that super in the final slot as well. Yes, let's just grab these. Oh, that was a mistake. Dang it, I didn't go for 24 key with them. I'm really dumb. Alright, we should still survive. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I guess as long as they don't have a... like, a key-based... portion of their kit that allows them to get that dodge, right? That could be really bad. Let me double check. Yeah. Their kit only goes up to when attacking with 18 or more. Nothing else matters. As far as key selection is concerned. Okay, so we're good with them. They should be fine. Alright, doing a pretty heavy amount of damage considering the type disadvantage that we're working with. Definitely okay with this. And it's just going to continue to get better and better too, right? Because we have lost our infinite stacking. There we go, we get the counter. We've lost our infinite stacking with the transformations, but they still have 4 turn stacks on the 18 key here. So, you know, coming back on the next 2 turns, they're still going to be even stronger than they were on their initial transformations, right? The only hindrance is that they lose the 77% damage reduction, but they don't really need it at this point because their defense is so freaking high. Just even at the start of the turn, and then on top of all the attacks they do, they're going to be fine. And then, you know, obviously having this Scouter plus the countering, like, there's just nothing that the enemy can do ever. Okay. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the two of these units and see who might have a better chance to tank that normal in slot 1. We are definitely going to rotate off Gogeta here and put him in slot 3 to counter both of those attacks, right? That is absolutely what we're going to do. He is actually going to attack break one of them, and then he could counter the other one. Yeah, I think that's going to be the right idea, though. Yeah, and I think with his defense being as high as it is, even if he weren't to counter it, he'll probably still tank it. Okay, so let's take a look at her kit. Let's see who's got the better setup here. So greatly raising attack and defense. Okay. Medium chance to evade. And then 40% damage reduction. Okay. And then just stats. Okay, and then... So wait, she really only has a medium chance to evade? Oh, the evasion chance goes up here too. Okay. It's not just DR, it's also the evasion chance. There we go. So she's at 70% chance to dodge here with like 40% damage reduction. And then she does also have type disadvantage and no guard. He's type neutral. He's going to have 30% damage reduction, 60% damage reduction, and stats. Okay, so do we want to depend on the dodge or this? We've been depending on dodge this whole time. Let's just continue with it. How about that? So she'll dodge for us with the 70% in slot 1. Oof, that's a lot of rainbow orbs. I think I'm going to save those for Vegeta. Yeah, let's grab that. 4 rainbow orbs, that should be good. Okay, cool. So yeah, we should be safe this turn. All we have to effectively do is dodge with Pan, and then we're 100% safe for the turn. And I think at that point, maybe that makes us shoe in to win the fight. I think so. We're gonna have to see here. I'm not 100% sure. It depends how much damage we're able to actually dish out with Gogeta. Yeah, 40 million. His attack stats definitely are still going up. Good stuff. The good news is we'll be able to use an active skill on the next turn. The Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, because the enemy is below 50% HP, we'll finally have access to that. Nice, another counter in there, some more good damage, and because he's been building up more and more, this is going to hit even harder. 25 million. Love to see that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is just an absolute nuke of an attack, isn't it? Crazy. Okay, and speaking of nukes of an attack, we're going to go ahead and use this active. There we go. For some free damage. And then... Okay. I'm a little bit scared here. Okay, no. This isn't worth the risk. This is not worth the risk. I was going to say, in slot 1, he'll disable the super attack. In slot 2, it's the second attack, so he won't disable it, which means he would get the counter. But don't even need to be thinking about any of that, because if we put him in slot 1, he's just going to KO before anything happens anyway. And if not, then guaranteed Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks would. So we're definitely just going to live here. And then in this case, we won't have to deal with Gotenks' 50%, chance for that extra defense to not proc, and then we just get KO'd, right? So close to the end. Would be absolutely horrible. Okay, maybe he isn't gonna finish him off. I kind of expected him to do a little bit more there. Okay, now I'm a little bit nervous. For sure. Oh, I guess that extra normal really did enough. Yeah. And then this 23 mil should do it for us. Good? Yeah, there we go. He is, the amount that he was depleting the enemy's HP was going to be a little bit easier because he didn't have type disadvantage, right? So. Okay, after that painstaking hour and a half, I've been recording these stages for an hour and a half now. We have finally finished the Hybrid Saiyans missions, and we were able to do it without the brand new Hybrid Saiyan leader, so I'm pretty excited about that. I think that was kind of a cheeky way to run the event with the GT here, like a kind of a pseudo GT Heroes team, right? Fuse Fighter in there. That was kind of a fun one. Maybe for these events in the future, just so that, because I was complaining so much in the first stages of this with Fuse Fighter, how dumb these missions are, that you just need to run, the stage requires you to use 3 of that category unit, but then the mission requires you to have that as well. So it's like the same thing. There's like literally no point in the mission. That I thought the mission would be cooler if it limits the amount of characters you can have on that category. So like only 3 or only 5, right? Would be better. So I think maybe what I'll start doing is just trying to do random, like whoever my leader is not a leader for that category that it's calling for on the thing, and then try and build teams that way. Maybe that's what I'll start doing. Maybe. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this equipment that we have just earned from here. So I think these should be for Fuse Fighter characters. Yeah, since the Hybrid Saiyan ones gave us, or the Fuse Fighter ones gave us the Hybrid Saiyan equips, the Hybrid Saiyan stages give us the Fuse Fighter equips, and these are decent equips. The level 7 defense, the level 5, oh, there's actually 2 different, yeah, level 5 additionals that we can get here, and then a level 4 dodge in there, which is not bad as well. Obviously, this would be better if they weren't, like, step-ups, like a 6 and a 7, it should just be 2 7s, or a 3 and a 4, it should just be 2 4s, and then I assume these are both going to be level 5 combo with, like, lower, like, it'll be, what, 3 attack boost, so 4 attack boost, and then this one's probably 3 attack boost, I would assume. Let's see. Oh, and 5, yeah, so 4 and 5. Okay, wow, yeah, that's actually a really, really good orb. Okay, so there we go. Some nice equips, a decent chunk of stones, and a fun stage played. So there we go. That's going to finish it up for the master content that we have in game now. So we just got to stay tuned and see what they do as they continue to add more and more stages to this. But like I've mentioned before, I think that they are going to add this for every single category in the game. It would make sense for them to do that eventually, the way that they have with the Super Battle Road stages. Alright, well, that is going to go ahead and do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace!